All right, thank you so much for that, Frank. The rising temperatures, of course, we're all thinking about getting outside, and we're all wanting to run and jog and get healthy. But before you do that, you have to do it in a healthy manner. So Dr. Sapna Sriram is here right now. You're an injury expert.
Correct.
All right, so we're going to talk about getting out there. Now, I don't want to just talk about people who want to train for a marathon or who are going to be jogging.
Right.
So many more people are going out getting their 10,000 steps in.
Exactly.
So you have to be as concerned with your footwear, even with walking.
So a lot of people don't think about the impact that our feet have on the ground. So whether you're just developing a walking program or you're just starting to learn to run, or if you really are training for a marathon, we want to put emphasis on the feet. Now, what people don't realize is that this year alone, up to 75% of runners are going to experience some form of an injury. And what's the first thing that impacts the ground? It's the foot, right? So when we're dealing with the foot, the common injuries that we experience, because so many runners actually pronate, where they actually fall onto the bottom of their foot, they can develop horrible, unsightly bunions. But the bigger thing about the bunions is that they can actually cause foot deformity, where your toes actually start to point east and west. Other injuries that...
Now, I have to tell you, I have a sideways toe, a baby toe, most likely from poor footwear when I was younger.
Poor footwear, or just from bad, shock absorption with our gait. And so another thing that you can develop is something that's called plantar fasciitis with running, and that's where the actual bottom of your arch gets really inflamed and tight and causes a lot of pain. And even just as we trickle up, the runners and walkers can develop Achilles tendonitis, calf injuries, and then of course it goes up into the knees, hips, and joints. So now, I want to sort of talk about things that we can do to actually stop ourselves from developing a lot of these injuries.
Should we pay $800 for a pair of good shoes?
So I always say start with 3 C's. The first thing is consistency. Actually, even just being consistent with a run program is going to prevent you from getting injured this year. What that means is get out there and form a proper habit. Don't do long runs back to back, or even just do 10K walks back to back if you're not ready for it. The next thing is cross training. So if you're going to cross train, that's lighter on your joints. So a lot of walking is a lot of impact. 2 to 16 times our body weight just from running and walking. So you want to think about cross training, like swimming and spinning, to prevent ourselves. Now, if you are running, I always talk about our soles and our shoes.
There's so much emphasis put on, especially arch supports and that.
And again, because of all that body weight.
Should I get prosthetics
So I recommend the 3rd C is contour. So you want to get an insert or your shoe to make sure it obviously fits well, but you want to make sure the sole is contoured to your arch, because that's what's going to give you that shock absorption when you land.
But we don't all have the same arch, right? I mean, if you take a look at this, so let's put that on there right here. Now, this person could probably use a bit more arch support.
Right, Mr. Bones is a little lacking here. So of course, and this is why you want something that's a little firm. Now, of course, there are custom inserts, but what can we do to strengthen our arch? I've got my lovely model, Shondell, who's actually going to show exercises that we can do to train our feet to actually have a better, stronger arch to be more conducive to running. So who doesn't have some of these household articles at home? So I've got Mr. Kleenex here. So Kleenex is an easy household article, and what you want to do with the tissue is actually learn to train your arch by actually gripping the ground. Now, using something like a tissue, for more advanced runners, you can actually use a towel, and you want to actually imagine that you're trying to pick the tissue up with your toes, and you're literally, by doing this, strengthening the arch and the bottoms of your feet, which is a really effective exercise for anybody who's running, because as you plant your foot down, if your arch is weak and falling, you're going to get injured.
You could actually put some floor wax down there at the same time.
And it's 2 and 2. Yeah, exactly. Now, I have one more exercise which is really effective. Now, who doesn't have little pedicure?
And if you don't have them, you can get these at any Shoppers Drug Mart, anywhere.
Any drugstore. If you get a pedicure, just ask your esthetician for an extra. And what you want to do is you want to place them between your toes. Now, what people don't realize is there's tons of muscles in our feet, guys. So you want to actually think about how can we strengthen the intrinsic muscles of our feet. So with the toe spacer, you may not see a lot of what she's doing visually, but she's actually squeezing.
We're looking right here.
Right. Okay. She's actually squeezing that spacer together with her feet, and then relaxing. So holding for only about 5 seconds at a time and doing about 10 repetitions. You want to do this exercise on both feet to actually strengthen the actual internal muscles of your feet.
Do you have to be standing to this, or can I like sit? Can I watch a movie with my feet up and do it?
What's easy and convenient. Maybe but with your feet planted if you're at work and you want to just get a couple of activation exercises going before you're about to hit a run at lunch at the lunch break.
So you don't want to do this, though, with your feet up?
No, you want to keep your feet planted because
All
you
right.
want to feel that feedback. I always say you want to feel the ground.
Yeah.
That's how you're going to get the best feedback.
Now, walking is a huge thing these days, as we said, and a lot of walkers don't realize they can suffer some of the same injuries that a runner can.
They're exactly the same. They're exactly the same because you're doing the exact same movement, but just at a slower pace.
All right.
Right?
I'll give you 2 toes up for that. 3 toes up. I'll give you 3 toes up for that one.
Amazing.
Thank you so much for that. I appreciate it. DrSapna.com or at Dr. Sapna Sriram on Twitter if you want to follow her. We are going to take a break here on Breakfast Television, and we'll be back right after this.